Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi ta'ala wa barakatuh. Viewers, today I'm going to be sharing with you some of the information that has gone down the wire. As you know, there is a verse in the New Testament where the Christian missionaries and the apologists, they keep quoting this verse to make it sound like Jesus Christ is God or partly God or some kind of a God, a little bit of God somewhere around the corner. And they quote this verse, as you know, all the time, before Abraham was I am. And so Jesus preceded Abraham. That's what they're trying to say. That means he was with God all the time. Well, even if we have to believe this assumption that he was with God, that means we have God and then we have Jesus. That would make them two God. Does that make sense? No, that would be pantheism, believing in anything to be God. That is not monotheism. The absolution of worshiping one and only God that deserves to be worshipped, as taught by all the prophets that walk the earth, including Jesus Christ. Okay, before we venture deep into that, I would like to take you to the Old and the New Testament, at the very beginning of the Revelation, according to these books. So when we look at the Old Testament, it begins. In the beginning, God created the heaven and the earth, and the earth was without form. And the Spirit of God moved upon the deep of the waters. And God said, let there be light. And there was light. And the Lord saw that the light was good. And he divided the light, and on and on and on and on. But what I'm trying to let you understand is that it says in the beginning, mark my word, in the beginning, God created the heaven and the earth. In the beginning. That is the Old Testament. Genesis chapter 1, verse 1. Now we go to the New Testament, chapter 1, verse 1 in the book of John. Again, it says, in the beginning was the Word, and the Word was with God, and the Word became God. Did you see it again? The grammar is wrong. This is pantheism, believing in anything again to be God. How can the Word exist in the beginning without it being spoken? Word existed after it's been spoken. Who spoke the word? God spoke the word. So God was in the beginning, not the word. Can you imagine your word preceded you? No, it doesn't make any sense at all. No matter how you check it out from different angle, the English does not make any sense. God have to have spoken the word for the word to exist, not the other way around. You are telling me in the beginning was the word. Okay, so in the book of Genesis chapter 1 verse 1, in the beginning, God created the heaven and earth. This one said, in the beginning was the word. So which is which? Was there the word in the beginning, or in the beginning God created the heaven and the earth? So you see how you're playing games with your book. Okay, to substantiate our contention, we look at the book of Psalms of David, written by David according to you. Psalms of David, chapter 8, verse 22. It reads, David said, in the beginning, God possesses me before his work. In other words, before God does any work, David was there. David was there in the beginning. God possesses me. If I possess you, you are with me. So he said in the beginning, God possesses me with him before the beginning of his work. Before he created the heaven and earth and the firmament, before he created the deep of the ocean, before he created the expanse of the earth, I was with him. He possesses me. So now we have to ask the question, is it Jesus that was there in the beginning? Is it David that was there in the beginning? And also we look at the book of Jeremiah chapter 1 verse 5. God said, O Jeremiah, I knew thee before you were born in the womb of your mother. I made you a prophet to the nations before you were even born. This tells us that the knowledge of everything, including Jesus, Abraham, Moses, David, Isaiah, Muhammad, was with God in the very beginning. In whatever knowledge that Allah possessed, we believe in Lawhil Mahfuz. Everything is preserved in the preserved in the tablet that Allah possessed, where he disseminated to various prophets. So there is no way you could argue the case and said Jesus Christ was in the beginning. He cannot be in the beginning with God at the same time. I mean, all of a sudden, spontaneously, two gods existed. Jesus and God. No. So if you read Genesis chapter 1 verse 1, it tells you a different story. John chapter 1 verse 1, it tells you a different story. And if you analyze that with the book of Jeremiah chapter 1 verse 5, clearly you can see that that beginning, or the very primal mover, which is God, who began everything that came into being, he was by himself. Otherwise, why would you say that, and God said, let there be light, and there was light, and the Lord saw that the light was good. He saw that the light was good. What do you mean he saw the light was good? You know, okay, all this information really does not cut at all. It is part of the pagan rituals, or the paganistic idea that crept into the text of the Bible. And so we know eventually, after all these books were given and done, the perfect book is coming. Perfect book is coming. As Paul himself said in the book of Corinthians chapter 10 verse 13, we preach in part, and we we deliver in part. But when that which is perfect comes, we will have to abandon the part that we have and take it. And that which is perfect comes. Which is perfect? So Paul is expecting something that is perfect to come after him. And that perfection came in the form of the Quran. The Quran said, this day I have complete my favor upon you, and I have perfected your religion for you, and I've chosen for you Al-Islam as a way of life. Definitely, I'm going to be doing some other videos piece by piece, soundbite as I go along. This is the first one. Hadha billahi tawfiq. Wassalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi ta'ala wa barakatuh.